So my name is Todd Fogel, and I am a renovation loan specialist. I'm actually the vice president of renovation lending for the southern states for guaranteed rate. I am licensed in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Louisiana, and Alabama. And so when Jeff and Claudienne said, would you like to be part of this event? I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have to be in a Zoom anymore. I said, the only bad thing is I got to put on pants. So I'm going to give you some good information, and as they say on American Ninja Warrior, are you ready to learn? Let's go, okay? So how many are real estate agents out there? How many are first-time home buyers? Of the inventory, what are you seeing out there? Move-in ready homes, they're beautiful. I see a couple faces going, What are you seeing out there? Someone just raise your hand. What are you seeing out there?
Horrible.
Horrible.
Nothing for you.
Say that again?
Nothing for us.
Nothing for us. Well, the inventory is low, but if you look out there, there are homes out there, and the inventory is aged. So what's available now are older homes. Not the best kitchen. It's got the Brady Bunch kitchen, or it's got the pink bathrooms, or it's got that big white tile that was big in the 80s. Yuck. So there are loan products out there that allow you to finance needed repairs, desired improvements, failed inspections, open permits, code violations, add square footage, or put in a pool. Yep, put in a pool. These programs have been around since the 70s, and people don't know about it. So if you are a real estate agent and you're listing a property, or you're looking at properties out there, and it says no financing, no FHA, and you call on it and you say, well, why can't I finance it? Well, it has a bad roof. Well, you can't do what is called an FHA 203B, but you can do a 203K. So what I'm going to do for you today is tell you about programs. I'm going to tell you about process. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and the company that I work for, that you feel comfortable moving forward with a renovation loan. So how many out there watch Property Brothers, Fixer Upper, Hometown? That's what I do. That's exactly what I do. And they never say that on TV, darn it. I wish they would. That would help me out a lot. But that's what I do. So there are mortgage products. So there are two main programs, and I'll tell you about a third program that's kind of in the wings right now for us as a lender. FHA 203K, which is our renovation loan, and there's a Fannie Mae Homestyle renovation loan. So I'm going to start with FHA. And I'm going to stop right now. I don't expect you to be the experts, you as first-time home buyers or real estate agents. The whole purpose for me to talk today is that you don't miss an opportunity. So if you go to that fixer-upper house and it says, cash only, no financing, call me. I'll talk to that real estate agent. That real estate agent isn't marketing that property properly, and I can finance it. I can finance a house basically in any condition. I've done tear downs, that a house that should have been torn down. We put $100,000 into it, we rebuilt that house, and that family's in that home. And that's financeable, and I'm not afraid of it. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me at all. So my purpose here today is for you as agents and you as customers, you don't miss opportunities. You don't walk away from a house thinking, oh, I can't afford that, I can't do that, I can't finance that. Yeah, you can. And you as agents, don't miss an opportunity on marketing your property, and I'll explain that to you. So we're going to start with FHA. FHA has two programs, a limited and a full K. A limited would be any repairs under $35,000, cosmetic in nature. Windows, floors, doors, roof, termite, electric, plumbing, redo a kitchen, fix the driveway. Anything you can think of where that repair is non-structural and it's under $35,000. A full K would be any repairs over $35,000, possibly structural in nature. So if you have a bad roof and that roof is caved in, but the roof repair is $20,000, but we've got to fix the trusses, that becomes a structural repair, and it would go to a full K. If we go to $35,001, it becomes a full K. And what that means is we have to hire an independent HUD consultant who writes a work write-up. and does a feasibility study to make sure those numbers work. But for purposes of today, I'm going to explain the limited program. You find a house, it's $150,000, it needs a new roof, and it's missing the kitchen. And how many times have you looked at a listing, and you're like, well, it looks good. And you walk in the house and you go, oh, they didn't photograph, there's no kitchen. Or you show them the property and you go out back and there's a toilet out back. And you go, oh, God. You open the bathroom door, oh, that's where the toilet would have been. I can't go to the bathroom there. No one's going to the bathroom. I'm taking that toilet out. And so people are just, when they leave a property, they're mad and they're punching holes in walls and they're destroying properties or whatever it is, or they pull the toilet out and it's sitting in the backyard. Or how many agents have written a contract and then you go back to show the house and someone stole the AC? We see that a lot too. I just saw a hand go up. Yep, that was me. I've seen it all. Well, I haven't seen it all, but you know, every time something happens, I go, okay, now I've seen it all. So with an FHA 203K limited, house is $150, it needs a new roof, and we need to put in a kitchen. We have the house inspected, we marry our wish list with the home inspection, and we get a contractor to go out there and write up a repair bid. Let's say that repair bid for the roof and the kitchen is $30,000. I send that bid to the appraiser. The appraiser appraises the property in the future as if the repairs are done. So ideally, I want to see the house appraised for purchase price $150, repairs $30. I want to see it appraised for $180. Then you put your 3.5% down on $180. As a lender, we lend 96.5% of $180. We close on the house in its current condition, and we work with you and the contractor that you've selected, that we have validated, to do the repairs after closing. So it's 2 loans, so we need to get the repairs done before closing? No, it's one first mortgage, and we do the repairs after closing. Now, we don't hand you $30,000 at closing and say, go fix your house. We hold that money back in a draw account, and we dole out disbursements to your contractor as he does work. We'll allow a partial materials draw for upfront. He needs to order the roof tiles. He needs to pull his permits. But we're not going to pay him for work that is not completed, for your protection and our protection. This is not an equity line where you get a little checkbook and you're writing out the checks. We control that. Okay? So that's really, really important. So on an FHA 203K, and this is important for the real estate agents in the room, we needed purchase price $150 plus repairs $30. We needed $180. We didn't get dollar for dollar. We got $170. Is that deal dead? No. On an FHA 203K, we can lend 110% of an appraised value. I'll say that again. On an FHA 203K, we can lend 110% of an appraised value. So on that 170 value where I needed 180, I have $17,000 wiggle room to cover the $10,000 that I missed. That's a deal saver. So if you as an agent come to me and I'm putting this together and I say, Claudienne, what's the market look like? And she goes, gosh, my highest comp is 170. I'm good. I'm good. So if you get an email from me, appraisal came in at a workable future value to continue with financing as submitted. I might have gotten a low value, but I'm not going to tell you. And I'm not going to blow up the deal. Oh, it didn't appraise and everybody's upset and the seller's upset. We keep moving on, and that's the beauty of this program. Good stuff? That's really good stuff. So the full K would be anything over $35,000, and we get a HUD consultant. And the HUD consultant goes in and he does a feasibility study, again, for your protection and our protection, that the numbers work. And he's going to go through the house and say, hey, everything is on the money, and it works. But there's a fuse box on the back of the house behind this shrub, and no one saw it. We got to include that repair. And that protects you and protects us as a lender. When I said that we validate contractors, we don't approve them. So I'm not collecting income asset credit on the contractor. We're validating them. Their bid has to match their license, has to match their insurance, has to match how they are listed with the state of Florida. They fill out a one-pager about their business, give me 3 references of like jobs in scope and dollar amount, and we have to be able to just verify that. We want to see contractors in business for 2 to 5 years. It's not a hard process. And I've had real estate agents call me and say, oh, I heard they're not doing these programs anymore. Not true. I heard that contractors aren't doing these programs. Not true. And if you are a first-time home buyer and you're like, well, I don't know how to shop for contractors, I send out a detailed email to give you about 10 ideas of how to shop for contractors. I give you a copy of a sample bid. I give you a list of do's and don'ts to help you with that. And then also, if in this process you come across a contractor and he doesn't get it, put him in touch with me. I'll explain it to him. This is the safest way for a contractor to work because we're not handing the money to you, we're holding it back within my company and doling out draws. So you're not, as a first-time home buyer, ooh, I want to get that new sofa and that new TV now and spend that money. No, that doesn't happen. We hold that money back. So it's the safest way. And if the contractor does his work, he'll get paid. That's simple. So really, really good stuff. The Fannie Mae program is the same premise, has a limited component and a full component. But the difference is I use that program when a buyer says, I want to put 5% down. I want to put 20% down. Then I'm going to move them up to a Fannie Mae program. Also, my Fannie Mae program can be used for second homes. We do not have currently an investor program, but we have owner-occupied under FHA, and we have owner-occupied and second home under Fannie Mae. And also, my conforming loan limits are about $150,000 higher. So I can go up to $548,000, $250,000 on a Fannie Mae program. So if your buyer is looking at that $450,000 house and they want to put $100,000 into it, but they want to finance those repairs, that would be a Fannie Mae Homestyle program. And you can put in a pool under a Fannie Mae program. I've sat open houses recently, and I sat in an open house that had a huge yard but didn't have a pool. And I'm talking to the people that are coming through the open house, and they said, God, we love the house, and but it doesn't have a pool. We saw the house down the street, but it's a little smaller, and it has a pool. I said, I can put a pool in. Really? Yep, Fannie Mae Homestyle renovation product. So a little bit about me. I have been with Guaranteed Rate for 2.5 years. Like I said, I'm the regional vice president for the southern states. Prior to that, I was with Wells Fargo for 9 years, and I was in charge of renovation financing for Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. Had about 110 loan officers under me, and I was over about 40 bank branches. Wells Fargo closed their renovation doors on a conference call, and we were shut down within 48 hours. I stayed on for another 9 months and closed my pipeline, and I got recruited to Guaranteed Rate by the same manager that hired me at Wells Fargo 11 years ago. And she called me and she goes, Todd, you're my reno guy. You got to come in and talk to me. And I walked in the office and she stood up and she goes, when can you start? I go, oh, that's my interview? I don't need to show you my, my book of business and what I closed. And she goes, no, you're my guy. When can you start? And will you run the southern states for us? And I go, I'm in. Like I started, let's go. Let's go. And this has really been a good gig. I've had so much fun doing renovation financing. And for customers out there and real estate agents, I'm good at my job. That simple. That's not me being arrogant or pompous. That's just stating a fact. And that's really important when you're working with a mortgage professional, that they have the knowledge, the confidence, and the skill set to say, I got this. I'm good at my job. And that's really important. I think you'd be a little leery if I got up here and go, ooh, they're really hard. They take a lot of time. I have trouble with them. There are lenders out there that will do renovation financing, but they're not certified specialists. They maybe do one a year, and that becomes difficult. I close 3 to 5 a month. I have 7 going for this month. Yikes, pulling my hair out. But I love what I do. I really love what I do. And the company that I work for, Guaranteed Rate, we are a tech company that bought a mortgage company 20 years ago. So we're a techie company. The reference I can give you for those sports fans, they're based out of Chicago, and Chicago White Sox Stadium is Guaranteed Rate Stadium. That's the only reference I know. Go team. That's all I know. So we used to use a third-party company that did our contractor validations, our draw disbursements, and our field inspections. We severed our relationship with them, and we have our own draw center. So you're with me from loan application to loan commitment to loan closing to post-closing and end of project. So afterwards, when the inspector didn't get out there or the draw check didn't go out, you call Todd. Todd's calling his staff. And being a techie company, we bought software called Built. Built is a virtual dashboard, and in the age of COVID, you don't have to go to the house and be shuffling papers and touching pens and be face-to-face. Your contractor says, I need to get a draw, and I need to buy these materials, and I've already demoed the kitchen. He goes to the dashboard, click, click, click. It prompts the inspector to go out there, take some pictures, upload the pictures, click, 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 and then you, as the buyer, are able to go to the dashboard, authorize the draw. Click, click, click. So it makes it pretty streamlined, and we'll pay the contractor one of three ways. A two-party check that you sign over to the contractor, a one-party check that goes right to the contractor, or if the contractor is someone that you know or trust, family friend, we know him, then we'll do a direct deposit into his account to streamline the process. So good information today for you?
Yes.
Good stuff.